Okay, so before we get into the show, because the first thing we're going to talk about is young Dolph. I'm calling him young Dolph, like Dolphin, young Dolph. Um, I'm gonna have George Maker come on and talk about his organization. Obi's gonna come on. I am going to put the call-in number in the chat. So it's a lot we want to get to. But so the main title is Crime and Justice. We got to talk about the crime. We got to talk about the justice. Crime is on a rise. So was this yesterday that young Dolph was murdered in Memphis? This was yesterday afternoon.
I blame the incompetent jackass, know nothing, hasn't got a clue, Mayor Strickland, and what he's done to mess up the police department, and what he has not done to maintain something I started off 30 years ago, which was doing a man-up thing in the neighborhood. I reduced the criminal recidivism rate from the statewide rate of 80% down to 18%. I did a man-up thing, and I called it that 30-some years ago, and it worked. I'd go out and walk around in the neighborhood and talk to these young guys and tell them about doing the man-up thing and how to be a man. And one of the most important things about being a man is to make your neighborhood a place of peace, dignity, and order, not chaos and confusion and acting like an emotional girl out of control. See, that's what they're doing now. They aren't bold enough, brave enough, don't have the balls enough to punch somebody out or have a man-on-man fist fight. They got to go do this crazy stuff because it's been glamorized and dysfunction has been glorified for 50-some years, and there's nobody local to do anything about it. There's nobody here to set up industry, to deal with the educational system and make it what it ought to be so that kids can say, I want to stay in Memphis because this is the place of opportunity that's going to be the Chicago for the 21st century. And also, I don't want to leave because I think Memphis is a dead end. See, that's what's going on here. And by the way, yours truly is running for mayor of Memphis in 2023. So a little campaign blurb. I took advantage of the situation. I don't know this young man, but it's a shame anybody gets killed here, and it's avoidable. Now, I don't know what he did, but, you know, I told you sometimes people do stuff in the music industry. Like if I was a different kind of person, there's a certain older level celebrity in Memphis that would be in deep trouble from me because he owes me $5,000 that he cheated me out of. So every time I see him at the airport, that's been twice in the last 15 years, he's literally turned around and run in the opposite direction. So, you know, I wouldn't do such a thing. I'm a retired judge and a person sworn to uphold the law and deliver peace, dignity, and public order. So I wouldn't do these things, but some other people might. So hopefully that's not the case. But it's always a tragedy when these young men deal with their feminine sides and resort to violence when they don't need to. Maybe there was business or war going on, but I don't know about it. So I won't speculate. But, you know, is what it is. We need to start making where we live a more peaceful place.
I forgot I muted myself. So I did pull up some information about the situation. So young Dolph shooting death. Here's what we know about suspects. Okay, so his name was Adolph Adolph Thornton Jr. He was shot and killed inside Makita's homemade butter cookies on North Airway Boulevard in Memphis. He was 30 years old. It was, let me scroll down. So apparently they said a witness documented the aftermath on social media, identified the rapper's camouflage Corvette parked in front of Makita's.
Camaro, not a Corvette.
Oh, well, it says Corvette here.
Well, it's a Camaro. And the other thing was, in one report they had it, he was in his Lamborghini, but it's a camouflaged Camaro.
Okay.
It's not a Corvette.
And so they said in the hours following the shooting, those social media rumors began to spread about shootings connected to other Memphis rappers, retaliation efforts, and people of interest. So apparently, I didn't know this. In Charlotte of February 2017, this rapper who just passed away, who just got killed, he was inside a $300,000 SUV when his vehicle was shot more than 100 times. And what saved him was the bulletproof panels of the car.
That was in LA.
No, it says Charlotte.
I know, but it was in LA. He got wounded. There was another incident in Charlotte.
Well, this is the one in Charlotte where his bulletproof SUV was hit 100 times.
Well, yeah, they put that, depending upon a report, some reports show that as being in Los Angeles and another incident in Charlotte. So the one in LA is apparently, this one is supposed to be the SUV in Charlotte, but they also list the SUV shot 100 times as being in LA. So you can't rely on the mainstream media. They just put whatever.
It doesn't even matter. Why is this particular person in 3 shootouts and the last one killed him? Like,
well, could be, for example, a neighbor of mine bragged about how he took a notable Motown celebrity back in the late 60s, and he had his boys put a pistol to his head, and the Motown executive wound up transferring 15% off the top to him to keep from being killed. Now, we heard about that at the same time it happened. In fact, the week after. I thought it was just so much until I actually talked to the man. He's now dead, but he was a neighbor of mine. So that we have these realities that come into play. You see, there's a lot of money, and a lot of times people do stuff early in their lives that compromises them. Not saying this young man did, young Dolph, but sometimes we do stuff that we do because we're young and foolish and have too much money to dispose of, and we do stupid stuff. Now, those things get blackmailed. Sometimes when you got gangsters, you know, life's not fair. People take advantage of situations. And I'm well aware of especially some clients and acquaintances I've had that did work. And when I mean work, they enforced stuff, or they took out hits or carried out hits. All of them I'm thinking of, so I don't betray any trust, are now dead. So they are safe beyond the grave, but they used to kill people, break arms, break legs, elbows, jaws, and other assorted skeletal parts. And they do this to enforce collection of debts and enforcement of obligations and compliance with dictates. See, people come in and say, look, I need so-and-so, can you help me? Yeah, we can help you. No problem. But now we might want a favor. As a result, you know, show appreciation, these kind of things. So, I mean, I'm saying this happens here, but when you get into this industry, it is like it is. Now, rap is peripheral to the main entertainment industry, and the entertainment industry, particularly through Hollywood, is one of the most ruthless, treacherous, low-down, wrongdoing, underhanded, backstabbing places I've ever seen. And people stab each other in the back and laugh about it a month later and drink wine, you know, as they giggle about it and plot on stabbing the person back. In the real world, people would die because of that stuff. But I mean, in the entertainment industry, it is what it is. But I'm not saying that's what happened here. It's just there's a good deal of money involved, a good deal of exposure. People who are young and they get into the celebrity thing, they like to be recognized. It's an ego thing, sometimes not. And you have to be very careful and develop what I call situational awareness. Always have your radar going so you know what's going on. You never walk into a public place like this with a glass front and not pay attention to what's going on behind you. And then in Tennessee, if you're eligible to legally purchase a firearm, you do not need a permit to carry concealed. So if you are here, you still have a residence, I can't see why you're not packing 24/7 while you're in Memphis. And if you go someplace like this and you're still active, where is your general security? Where is your homeboy watching your six?
Yeah, because that's when I asked you about it, you know, because you're not into rap, but this is your city. You said, well, the first thing came to your mind was, why wasn't he carrying? But there do have the pictures of the two assailants, right? They had a face mask on, and they face covered.
Everybody's got a face mask on. COVID-19.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they had their COVID-19 face mask on because of what they were doing. But yeah. That was some big guns that they had. And I heard that
big guns. That was just a lightweight, medium-sized pistol, 9mm. And they wanted to identify the AK-47 pistol, but could have been an AK-74 derivative just as well, probably 47, which is 7.362 by 39 com block. And they tried to identify it by name, and that's impossible because there's several companies that make it. See, that's more media crap. They wanted to say automatics, but no, they're not machine guns. They're semi-autos. And if you want to find something that is unpleasant to shoot, you shoot a pistol size rifle caliber something in, you know, like your ears.
I don't know nothing about.
Well, I do. So
firearm.
It was nothing particularly impressive. That's just typical of today's modern weaponry, and I wouldn't even call it modern. The AK-747 is almost 80 years old, for God's sake. The ammunition is 1943, so it's 78 years old.
Well,
and the bottom line is the weapon came in 1947, so it's as old as I am. It's going on 75, so this ain't nothing new.
Well, I heard his bodyguard was in a car. I don't know. My thing is he felt comfortable. He always frequent this place. And it's a shame because not only is he's a father, he was a husband. He had a family, lovely family. And, you know, which brings me to, we're going to get into the other stories, but, you know, talking about Black men, you know,
let's talk about something. I want to put this out there and something goes down. That damn fool, Dane Calloway, when I was on that other show, that damn fool threatened me saying he was coming to Memphis to do something to me.
Trust me, he is
so
not
it's
coming
sort
to
of
Memphis.
like, you damn fool, do you realize what you're saying? Now, the way I work it, if I go someplace like that, I got somebody with me, but I don't need anybody to be my bodyguard. Just watch my six. I watch his. And we do our thing, and everybody involved is capable of getting their John Wick on when necessary. So, I mean, some people are like that. Be careful what you set out to do. Somebody may take you behind the Valhalla with them or send you on the way there and join you later.
I was about to say something. You be making me forget. Oh, yes, I had a super chat. Thank you, Clement Gray. He says, it's a sad state of affairs. These rappers need to learn to help the hood. Doesn't mean you have to be seen in the hood. Same thing happened to Nipsey. Yep, same thing happened to Nipsey Hussle. He had a business there on the strip, wherever, Crenshaw, and I think 2 businesses there. Well, he owned that. He owned that. Mm-hmm.
I grew up 5 blocks away from where that happened, 58th Street Place in Normandy, which is a block south, a block west of Slauson. That's where I grew up. I used to walk down to where he got shot. It's on the corner of Western and Slauson. In fact, if you want some of the best Q going, if you live in LA, go to D's original takeout grill on the corner of 79th and Western, and you can get some damn fine BBQ where they serve my sauce. Okay.
That's a shameless plug, really?
No, of course it is. Down in the hood.
I know that with you
is what it is. You know what's so funny about this? Just to be contrary, the other evening, I went down and I walked around in the area in Memphis. And the funny thing about it is he's getting gunned down. He's in his 30s. I'm in my 70s, but I can walk around and people think I'm granddad, you know, Uncle Joe, you know, Grandpa, you know, Daddy Joe, you know, this kind of thing. See, it's like, what is your presence supposed to be about when you have status? Mm-hmm. You know, are you looked at as somebody that, I want to know this dude because people told me I need to talk to him because he'll clue me? Or are you a rival? Or are they just jay of you? Or what is your relationship with the neighborhood you deal with? Now, you just mentioned it. Some people need to have some good common sense. If they set up a thing where there's an antagonistic relationship between them and the hood, perhaps unless they go in escorted by somebody, they ought to be a little bit more situationally aware. Now, that's just an abundance of caution. I get a lot from, I call them kids because everyone in this age group is either slightly older than my youngest child or slightly younger than my oldest child. Older than my youngest child or slightly younger than my oldest.
Wait, you go to Makita's Cookies?
I've been there. Been a while, but I know the area, know people that live over there. But see, here's the thing. I tell that generation, look, things used to eat us for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a midnight snack. We don't have any expectation living on the planet Earth to not have to be situationally aware. Please be aware. Check your six, damn it. Look around. Get your radar going. Watch who's coming close to you. You can avoid most hostile situations if you see them coming. But you sit there, you know, you just into your thing. That's dangerous.